All right, welcome back. So next up, we have Petrissage, which is another technique in Swedish massage. I often do incorporate a lot of Petrissage in my work. The idea of Petrissage is to create space. So I'm a big believer in creating space in the body, creating capacity, whether that's physical or mental or emotional. Love Petrissage for that way. So you can think about Petrissage in a way where we're kind of separating tissue to create more room for things to flow. So a few different techniques, and I'll just kind of go through all these. We have kneading, we have lifting, we have wringing, we have milking, we have squeezing and fluffing, and we have circular strokes. So I'll just kind of break all of those down. So kneading, you can think of like you're kneading bread. You know, you're working into those like larger muscles. Maybe you're using your fingers. Again, careful of your thumbs. I try to almost never use my thumbs. Using your palms, using some soft fists. So it's moving, right? As opposed to deep tissue where I would, put an elbow, just say into my leg and sink and hang out there and have that pressure sink down through the muscle. Kneading, it's more moving, like we're creating space and room in the muscles. Let's see, kind of like kneading dough, so for any bakers out there. Lifting, similar, we are literally like kind of picking up the tissue and letting it fall. So it's kind of lifting the muscle almost away from the bone. A lot of time everything gets really bound up, really tight, like the fascia, which I'm sure some of you have heard me talk about before, can get really thickened or hardened or really intertwined, like the muscles can kind of get all intertwined in a way that is emphasized by positions that we, sit in or stand in or lay in. Because the body is like, oh, this is the position you want me to be in? Okay, I'll reinforce that as I regenerate. So with lifting, we're kind of, lifting the fascia, lifting the muscles, giving them more room. So, I can maybe just hook my fingers under my legs, lift the muscles off the bones. I can add kind of a squeeze too, if I want to do like a squeeze and lift, which is also later on squeezing and fluffing, very similar. Like you might squeeze and lift or squeeze and fluff. All of these techniques are kind of, allowing things to spread out a little bit. So whether I'm lifting or kneading, a spread is happening. Wringing, harder to do on arms, but with my leg, like by yourself, but with my leg, you're kind of getting an S curve. So I'm just like drawing this S on my leg, because your one hand is going in one direction, the other hand is going in the other direction. You're kind of making, an S in your own tissue to just kind of wring it out, give it more room, give it more space. Like to do this on the calves too. All right. Milking, kind of hard to do on yourself. If I did it on myself, I'd have an arm out, and maybe I would just kind of, again, get my body involved. I'm kind of just gripping around my arm, pushing down. You can, do that on a bent leg too. If you're working on someone else, an easier way to do this is just say you have somebody face down on a bed or a table or something, and they lift their leg up like this. So imagine I'm like flat on the table, my leg is lifted. What a massage therapist or a friend could come over and do is do this motion. So you have both hands kind of around the bent leg. So starting at the foot and ankle, and you're just milking the calf by allowing your hands to slide down. And you can do a nice light return stroke as well. But you're just pushing down, kind of letting things wiggle as they do. So again, what that would kind of look like just with one hand by myself. And it's just like that. All right, so we touched on squeezing and fluffing, very similar to lifting. Circular strokes. So you can do this, in little ways or in big ways. So, if I was doing it in a little way, maybe I would use the last few joints of my fingers and just do some nice slow circles in my arms. Maybe I would overlap my hands and do that in my legs. Or, you can use a bigger surface area, so whether that's your palm, whether that's your elbow, and forearm, just getting some nice circles. And you can, if you're working on someone else, you can do that on their back, on their glutes, pretty much anywhere on the body. Just have your tool, like whatever you're using, whether it's your hand or your forearm or whatnot, have your tool like correspond with the area of the body. So like bigger area of the body, bigger tool. Great. Well, I hope that is helpful for folks, and we will just keep rolling through these other Swedish massage techniques. So stay tuned for the next one.